All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are tackling a subject that is, well, super relatable, but also kind of tough. Those sneaky little signs that tell you desperation and insecurity might be calling the shots in your life. But hey, this is not about judging anyone. Think of these signs more like wake up calls, little signals from your inner self that are just asking for a confidence boost.
Look, we've all been there, overthinking a text message, scrolling social media for a little hit of validation, saying yes when every single part of you is just screaming no. But the great news is that just recognizing the pattern is the first most powerful step to breaking it. So, we're going to break these signs down into some really clear themes to help you build that genuine, rock solid confidence you absolutely deserve. So, here's the game plan for this explainer. We'll kick things off with that need for outside approval. Then we'll dive into the fear of letting people down. After that, we'll get into the whole trap of comparison, tackle the wild world of our digital lives, and then we'll wrap it all up with a clear path forward. You ready? Let's do this. First up, seeking external validation. You know what this is. It's that deep, nagging need for the outside world to tell you that you're okay, that you're worthy, before you can even begin to feel it on the inside. And let me tell you, it is an absolutely exhausting way to live. Oh, you know this one. It's when you sent a work email and you immediately have to ask a coworker, hey, was that okay? Did that sound all right? Or maybe you ask your partner like 5 times if they're mad at you. Psychologists say this whole thing stems from doubting your own worth, and it just creates this vicious cycle of anxiety. Want a powerful way to break that loop? Try this. Start journaling your wins. Big or small, write them down every single day. Now, this next one is so subtle. This is what we call fishing for compliments. It's when you say something like, ugh, I feel so clueless about this project, when what you're secretly hoping for is for someone to jump in and say, no way, you're the smartest one here. It's a really subtle kind of desperation, right? So the key here is to build your own internal validation through positive self-talk, so you don't have to bait other people into giving it to you. And on the complete flip side of fishing for compliments is not being able to accept one when it's just freely given to you. Someone says, hey, great job on that, and you immediately shoot back with, oh, it was nothing, or piff, anyone could have done it. That's your insecurity acting like a brick wall, blocking you from soaking in any joy or recognition. The fix? It's so simple. Just practice a powerful thank you. That's it. Let that goodness in. Okay, let's shift gears to our second major theme, this deep-seated fear of disappointing other people. These are the behaviors that are driven by this intense and often subconscious fear of being a burden, of failing in someone else's eyes, or, just being disliked. Do you find yourself saying sorry for things that aren't even your fault? Like when someone bumps into you on the street? Yeah, that. Over-apologizing is such a classic sign that you're afraid of taking up space, of being seen as a problem. And what's wild is that it actually shrinks your presence over time. So next time you feel a sorry about to come out, just pause. Ask yourself, is an apology really necessary here? Ah, the chronic people pleaser. Sound familiar? You're exhausted, you're overcommitted, and your own needs are always at the bottom of the list. Here's the thing. Saying yes to everything doesn't make you a better person. It just makes you tired. The way out of this starts really small. This week, set one tiny boundary. Just one. Maybe it's just saying, you know what? I can't tonight, but how about tomorrow? Now, this one can feel like you're just being smart, like self-preservation, but it's really insecurity in disguise. It's turning down a promotion because you're scared you might fail, or not trying a new hobby because you might look silly. Staying in your comfort zone feels safe, for sure, but all it really does is keep your world small. It's like a cage that insecurity builds around you. So, your mission? Say yes to one tiny thing that stretches you. All right, let's move on to our third category of signs, and this one is a big one in today's world, comparing and competing. This is what happens when we start measuring our own value, our success, and even our happiness against everybody else around us. And let me tell you, that is a game you can never, ever win. You're scrolling through your phone, and you see it, a friend's picture-perfect vacation photo. But instead of feeling happy for them, you just feel that little pang of jealousy. That, my friends, is the comparison trap. You're comparing your entire messy, behind-the-scenes life to someone else's carefully curated highlight reel, and it will absolutely steal your peace. A good first step? Try mindfully curating your social media feed to filter out the things that trigger you. Okay, here's a tough truth. When we feel bad about ourselves, sometimes it feels a little good, just for a moment, to point out the flaws in other people. Gossiping or criticizing someone can give you this fleeting sense of being superior. But in the long run, all it does is create negativity and isolation. So here's a challenge. Flip the script. Try to find something genuinely to praise in someone else instead.
When something goes wrong, what's your first instinct? Is it to find a reason outside of yourself? The traffic was terrible, when really, you just left late. Constantly shifting blame or playing the victim means you're dodging accountability. And taking ownership of your mistakes, that isn't a weakness. It is the absolute foundation of building trust and real personal growth. So just take a second and really think about this question. Whose carefully edited, perfect-looking highlight reel are you holding up against your raw, unedited everyday life? It's a really powerful thing to reflect on. Okay, let's dive into our fourth set of signs. And these are the ones that get totally supercharged by the modern, always-on world we live in. We're calling this one the digital dilemma, where our insecurities get amplified like crazy online. So, does even the mildest, most constructive feedback feel like a full-on personal attack? Like if your boss suggests one small change to a report and you spend the rest of the day totally convinced you're getting fired. That's hypersensitivity. The key is to reframe it. Try to see feedback not as an attack on your character, but just as useful information that can help you improve. And here it is. This is when your self-worth gets tied directly to likes, comments, and how many followers you have. A post that doesn't get much engagement can literally ruin your day, while a post that goes viral makes you feel euphoric. You've basically handed over your emotional well-being to an algorithm. A really powerful antidote for this? Try a 24-hour digital detox just to reconnect with yourself in the real world around you. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground, and that brings us to our fifth and final section, your path to confidence. Now, if you recognized yourself in any of these signs, please do not despair. Seeing these patterns isn't a life sentence. It is a powerful cue for positive change. It's the starting line, not the finish line. So, what do you actually do? Well, here are some pro-approved next steps. Therapy can be an incredible tool for really digging into the roots of insecurity. Reading books on the topic, like Brené Brown's The Gifts of Imperfection, can be absolutely life-changing. And yes, there are even confidence-building apps out there that can help you practice new and better thought patterns. Before we wrap this all up, I want you to let this one final thought really sink in. This is the ultimate takeaway. Your worth isn't conditional. It doesn't depend on how productive you are, or your social media stats, or what anyone else on this planet thinks of you. You are worthy, right now, exactly as you are. So I'll leave you with this final thought. As you think about everything we've talked about, which one of these signs was the biggest eye-opener for you? The one that made you go, huh, I totally do that. Let us know down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching.